What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Beat of Business. And if you didn't know, Tesla has done it again. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Specifically, we're going to talk about the Model S Plaid. And for those of you that didn't know, the Model S Plaid was unveiled on Friday, June 10th, 2021 by Elon Musk. And the video is on YouTube, but it's about 30 minutes long. And in this video, I'm going to talk about that video essentially and the Model S Plaid, what it is, how fast it is, and just how incredible it is in general. But I'm going to provide a little more context than Elon did in his presentation. And I will eventually do a reaction video to that video as well, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel. But with that, let's jump right into it. For those of you that don't know what the Tesla Model S Plaid is, it is the performance version of the Tesla Model S. And the Tesla Model S is a four-door sedan that has dramatically evolved over the past decade or so since it was released. And for this year, the Tesla Model S has been substantially revised. Just to let you know, you can buy two versions of the Tesla Model S. You can buy the standard long-range version of the Model S, and you can buy the newly introduced Plaid version of the Model S. And just to clarify, this is standard for Tesla, but this is not by any means standard for the industry. Anyways, these are the specifications for the standard long-range dual-motor all-wheel drive Model S. And just to make it easier for all of my viewers to follow along, I've got my iPhone here on screen record so that you can see what I see. And as you can see, the standard version of this car can be purchased for around $80,000. It has an electric range of 405 miles, 670 horsepower, and a top speed of 155 miles an hour, and a 0 to 60 time of 3.1 seconds. Now, my initial reaction is that this car is an absolute bargain for what it is. I mean, $80,000 may seem like a lot of money, but when you consider its competition and how much the competition costs, and when you consider its performance and its technology and its safety, it really isn't that much money to spend on a premium car like the Tesla Model S. But there are some little quirks and details that you should know about with this Model S, because as you option it out, the price does increase pretty quickly. But I do want to point out that Tesla has made it really easy and simple to purchase a car. Like if you were shopping for a BMW or a Mercedes or even a Cadillac in this price range, the options lists and the different packages can get really confusing really fast. And if you've ever shopped for one of those cars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In that sense, Tesla makes it really simple, and I really do appreciate that. You pretty much only have 4 options that will add to the price of the car. First off, you have the paint, and as you can see, the pearl white multi-coat paint is included at no extra charge. But if you wanted to go with black, or gray, or blue, or red, it's an extra $1,500, but as you can see, the red is actually a $2,500 option. I'm not really sure why the red is more expensive. Maybe it costs more for them to create, or maybe it requires a special technique to paint the car red. I'm really not sure, but as you can see, the red costs more than all of the other colors at $2,500. Next, you have the wheels. You can get the standard 19-inch Tempest wheels, or you can get the 21-inch wheels, which are a $4,500 option. Now, these wheels look incredible on the car, but they do sacrifice range. The 19-inch Tempest wheels are designed for absolute efficiency, and you'll get 405 miles of range with those wheels because they create less drag. With the 21-inch wheels, you'll get 375 miles of range, which is still really respectable, and something that, quite honestly, I would probably opt for just because they look so much better. Next, we have the interior, and the all-black ebony decor is included in the price. If you opt for the black and white, or if you opt for the cream, it is an additional $2,000. And then you have the granddaddy of all options, the infamous Tesla FSD, or full self-driving, which can be had for a mere $10,000. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on Tesla Autopilot in this video. You can read about it if you'd like, but pretty much it is the most intuitive and the best autonomous driving system in the world. And the thing is that it just keeps getting better and better with each passing day as Tesla gets more data, which is passed to the car through continuous over-the-air software updates. Now, I personally know people with full self-driving capability on their Tesla, and they absolutely love it. Okay, so that's the standard Model S, but we're not here for the standard two-motor Model S. We are here for the Plaid Model S because 670 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 3.1 seconds isn't good enough. No, I'm completely joking. The standard Model S has incredible numbers, but what I'm about to show you is beyond ludicrous. It's Plaid. And fun fact, the Tesla Plaid name was actually inspired by the movie Spaceballs. I mean, leave it up to Tesla and Elon Musk to come up with their naming conventions from an iconic movie, which I actually think is pretty awesome. And the Tesla Model S produces some actually mind-boggling numbers that if you are a car guy like me, you're simply blown away. I mean, I remember the first time I saw these numbers a few months ago, I thought that it was just impossible. I was like, there's no way they're actually gonna produce this. I mean, if you're running sub 2 seconds 0 to 60 times and 9-second quarter mile times, I thought somebody's going to pass out from the gravitational force. Anyways, let's talk about the Model S Plaid because it's, in my opinion, the greatest engineering feat of any car in the world right now, especially when you consider its price. I'm going to start on the Tesla website and kind of go over the numbers and the sort of options that you can get on the car, and then we'll dive into some of the extraordinary feats of this car and how it compares to the competition, if there is any competition. All right, here is the Model S Plaid. We've got a 390 mile range, a 200 mile an hour top speed, which is absolutely incredible, and the most staggering number of them all, which is a 1.99 second 0 to 60 time from a dead stop. And as you can see, this car starts at just under $130,000, which in my opinion is an absolute bargain for what you get. And before somebody says $130,000 isn't a bargain, I'm going to show you why it is in just a minute. And speaking of quarter mile times, this car does the quarter mile in 9.23 seconds at 155 miles an hour. And just to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be a professional race car driver to pull off these numbers. Literally, I love my mom, but my mom could run 9-second quarter miles in this car. And according to Elon Musk, this can be run over and over and over again. And just for some context, the new 911 Turbo S is the quickest non-electric car in the world, and that runs a 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds and a quarter mile in 10.3 seconds. So the fact that this Model S does a quarter mile a full second quicker than a brand new 911 Turbo S is sort of crazy. And this quarter mile time is not a gimmick. In fact, Jay Leno was invited to drive the Tesla Model S Plaid over the weekend, and he set a quarter mile world record at 9.24 seconds. Now, this means that the Tesla Model S Plaid is quicker than the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon, which ran the quarter mile in 9.65 seconds, and quicker than the previous world record holder of the quarter mile, the Bugatti Chiron Sport, which did it in 9.4 seconds.
All right, Jay, this is Franz. You're ready to go.
Launch.
Here he goes. 9247. Wow.
I don't know what else to say, folks, but just talking about how fast this car is really makes me kind of giggly and really happy. It makes me feel like a kid. I mean, I just recently sold my Dodge Charger Hellcat about a year ago, and that car had 707 horsepower and was absolutely ridiculous to drive in terms of its raw acceleration and power. And I haven't had the honor of driving a Model S Plaid yet, but I can only imagine the feeling of that type of acceleration being planted down to all four wheels. And then let's not forget about the fact that this car has over 1,000 horsepower and 3 high-performance motors with carbon-sleeved rotors. As for the rest of the options, you have the same options to choose from as a standard Model S. Any paint color other than white costs an additional $1,500, or you have $2,500 for the red, and you can upgrade to the 21-inch wheels, but you will sacrifice range because they just simply create more drag. So with the included Tempest wheels, you get 390 miles of range, and with the 21-inch wheels, you get 348 miles of range. Everything else remains the same in terms of interior options and whether or not you want full self-driving capability. I hear a lot of people saying that the Tesla Model S really hasn't changed much in terms of its exterior design since it was first introduced in 2012. Well, the thing is that there's a really good reason for that, because the Tesla Model S actually has the lowest drag coefficient of any production car on the planet, and that's something that Elon Musk highlighted at the Model S Plaid delivery event. For those of you not familiar with what a drag coefficient is, it just means that the car is less resistant to air. And that's why when you see a sports car, or in this case a Tesla Model S, it is sleek in design, and that's done totally intentionally. And as you can imagine, drag is extremely important to Teslas, because the less drag the car creates, the less energy it would need to travel through the air. And the less energy it uses to move forward, the higher the range of the car will be in terms of its electric battery. And the next question that most people have with something as powerful as the Model S Plaid is whether or not it's safe. And if you didn't know, Teslas are extremely safe, and the Model S Plaid is no exception. And according to Tesla, this new Model S should have the lowest probability of injury of any car ever made and ever tested. In fact, when you look at the federal government chart of the lowest probability of injury in a crash test, the top 5 spots are held by Teslas, and the Model S Plaid is expected to slot right in at the top of this list. In fact, in the presentation, Elon Musk said that the Model S Plaid is faster than any Porsche ever made and safer than any Volvo ever made. And that, for me, is another check in the awesomeness factor of the Model S. Other than the mind-boggling performance of the new Model S, it does have a lot of new features that are worth talking about. For one, we've got an all-new interior, and as you can see, we've got a new infotainment system, which is now laid horizontally instead of vertically like the previous version. And then we've got the infamous steering wheel, which is actually more like a yoke, which I think will take some getting used to. But if you watch the presentation, it was designed with the intention of better visibility and a better line of sight out of the front window, as well as towards the dashboard menu, which maintains the full self-driving software. And we've also got an entirely redesigned second row with seating for 3 adults with extra legroom and headroom, and a stowaway armrest with integrated storage and wireless charging. Now, Elon Musk admits that the last Tesla Model S, the backseat wasn't really an ideal place to be, but this new car changes all of that with more comfortable seating, wireless charging, and an infotainment system of your own. Another cool feature about this car that was showcased at the event that gamers will really appreciate is that you can game from any seat of this car, because you have up to 10 teraflops of processing power, which is on par with today's newest consoles. In fact, at the event, Elon Musk talked about how this Tesla's gaming power is on par with the new PS5. Not a PS4, a PS5. And perhaps the biggest highlight of the event was the fact that this car can be charged to 187 miles of range in 15 minutes. Now, I feel like every single person that I talk to about electric cars always brings up the worry about charging their vehicle. And it's not just the day-to-day charging, it's the reluctancy to take it on road trips and the general range anxiety that comes from owning an electric car. So the fact that this car can put almost 200 miles of range in its battery in 15 minutes is pretty remarkable. In summary, this car is absolutely incredible in just about every single way. The Model S Plaid and Tesla in general is reimagining and reinventing what it is to be a performance car. I mean, I showed you guys the type of performance numbers this car is putting up, and the only other cars that are even in the same neighborhood as this car cost anywhere from 3 to 20 times the price. For me, there really isn't a downside of owning a Tesla Model S, especially a Model S Plaid, especially when you consider the competition. Now, I understand the reluctance of gearheads towards the electrification of performance cars, but for me, these electric power plants are a no-brainer. They produce more power, they are more efficient by a long shot, and they are just simply more reliable. The only downside that I can think of is that they don't make the beautiful sound that we've gotten used to and accustomed to with high-performance engines. If I was in the market for a high-performance sedan today and I had $130,000 to spend, there is really no question what I would buy. It's just simply the best of all worlds. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a video. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.